It doesn't look like interest rates are going to start falling anytime soon, but if you believe what's coming out of the RBA, they are not going up either. Joining me live for a property chat is Melissa Neighbour, founder of Yes in My Backyard. It does seem, welcome to the program again, great to chat. It does seem like these interest rates are going to stay as they are, probably for the remainder of the year.
Yeah, look, it does look positive, but in terms of the interest rate stabilising, from the planning perspective, which is the property sector that I play in, being a town planner and also advocate for Yes in My Backyard, Sydney YIMBY, which is a grassroots advocacy group. What we are really focusing on is seeing planning reforms across the state to allow more supply of houses to come onto the market.
So tell us where you think that's at.
Look, we've seen some really positive changes from the New South Wales government. There have been some bold moves in terms of reforms. One of our favourites is the TOD reform. You've got to love a TOD. Transit-oriented development, it makes sense. It's about upzoning blocks in a 400-metre radius from key train stations around Sydney. So that's really good because it means we're going to get more density around these train stations, which mean that we're seeing people can access work and other services a lot easier. So it's a smart move. What we're concerned about is that maybe these reforms aren't going to go far enough. So the government has promised 377,000 more homes by 2029. And while we haven't met that target, we won't meet that target in the first year because planning reforms are a long-term solution. We're concerned that the reforms and this uplift around the stations hasn't gone far enough in terms of the building height that it's going to allow and the density on these sites. And what that means is in the long term, we're not going to be getting the supply we need. We really think that if the government was serious about this, they would have actually, changed the controls to allow more density. And also, there's sites that they could be developing on. One of the campaigns we're running at the moment is a site in Camperdown, which is a 15-minute walk from the Royal Prince Alfred Hospital. And this is perfect for housing for essential workers, which is really what we need because we're seeing a drastic crisis with essential workers not being able to afford where they work.
It's just unaffordable for so many of them. It's unbelievable. That's the thing, and it's just not Sydney. Like Camperdown, for those outside of Sydney, around Australia and New Zealand, is an inner city suburb. Are councils getting less in the way of individuals that want to build or want to renovate, or is it in particular, is the state government helping with that?
Yeah, look, with these reforms that the state has brought in, which is a state layer, the councils have been working with the state to upzone their areas, their local government areas. But as I said, we just don't think it's going far enough. And the issue is the state government, with all good intentions, trying to improve development assessment timeframes, which is the time when we want more housing, it's got to go through this approval process. Instead of what they tried to do is introduce these league tables. So this made headlines a couple of weeks ago, which is where the New South Wales government is now tracking the assessment timeframes of development applications from each individual council and putting them in a table and ranking them. All good in theory, but in practice, what this means is that councils are just faster to refuse development applications, which means that we've got more blocks to housing, and also it's costing developers more as well. So they're having to relodge. So we're seeing all of these delays. So this is just another example of the government putting in reforms that don't really understand the commercial realities or the industry implications of what they're doing.
Oh, absolutely. And look, just finally, it's a very difficult space, isn't it? Because the cost of building has gone through the roof as well.
Absolutely. And this is where we really want to see the government making strides in MMC. So we want to see modern methods of construction. I've got companies out there that I work with around in modular construction, like Wild Modular. They do really nice high-end modular construction, and they are trailblazing and pioneering vertical modular in this country. This is what the government should be getting behind. We want to see the government actually upgrading the building code to allow the construction of modular vertical buildings. This would really help our housing crisis.
Yeah, absolutely. Melissa, always great to chat. Let's do it again soon.
Look forward to it. Thanks, Tim.